Hello guys, so back with another video, and today we will build movie or series recommendation app. Means if I watched any series or movies, I will add that series in a list. Okay, so it is like more like a to-do app where we add task to do. So movies are like or movies or series that we will watch or we want to watch. It is like a wish list or watch list. Okay, so I hope you get the idea about the app. Not app, actually it is a web app. So we will build that, and today we have some problem of network issues, so I use the same to do app by removing everything inside it. So it is just like empty app. Okay, so let's start and check. Yarn start. So until it's starting, let's discuss the steps we follow. So first user will enter movie or series name in input box. Okay. Second, it will get added to mo or movies or series, or you can say like watch list. It will be get it will get added to watch list. Okay, and after that we have an option to like that movie. Like option. Like means, suppose, just consider if there is a series uh, like or movies Avengers. Okay, so if I watch that movie, I will add in the website, and if someone like already watched that movie or watched after my recommendation, then he can like, or yes, like, he can like that movie. Okay, so this is how it works. And the fourth part, yes, the fourth part is, it is like he can edit movie name or series name. Why? Because sometimes we make spelling mistake, or maybe yes, something like that. Suppose I like movie of Avengers, but which Avenger? I don't know. So there are multiple Avenger movies like Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War. So we can edit those if we need it. So these are the four steps, and let's begin. I hope it is running. Okay, it is running. So let's divide this screen into two parts. You don't need this now. So let's add h1 as hello. Okay, so here you can see the space, right? So we don't need that space, so we will go to index.css and we will add this margin and all to everything. Star indicate each and every element. So yes, okay, so let's start. So I will give name here, like what name is, like movies series recommendation. Recommendation. Wait a minute, something went wrong. Recommendating. Okay. Movie series recommendation. Yes, this one. But what happened? Darshan, no. Wait a minute, something went wrong with recommendation. Okay, something wrong with spelling. Okay, E recommendations. Okay, movie series recommendations. Okay, cool. Uh, and we now we want some padding here. So let's see if Bootstrap is working or not. So I will say class name as margin y or margin 3 m3, right? That's only right. And think it is working, so we have to write our own css. So let's say here container. So I will go to app.css, padding 1 rem. Okay, so it is not working because I haven't imported import app.css. Now it will work. Okay, so movie series recommendation. Now we need input box or input, but what I want is, I don't want input box. I just means I want input box, but it shouldn't be like um, regular input box like we did in uh, to app. Okay, so what we will do here is, for now we will create a folder as components. Okay, in components we have input.js, then we have list.js, and we have item.js. I don't think we need item, but let's add because we need to have that like button here. Okay, so let's go to app.js and I will add here first input. Okay, so yes, input and yes. Wait a minute. RFCE web.js input. Yes. And input I will add input box. Input. Yes, here you can see this input, right? But I don't want this regular input. I just want some different kind of input, so I will style this. So I will style as class name. Actually, we will style this later. First I need list, so yes, RFCE. Then I will say here list, right? Suppose there are 10 items, so I will say data is equal to 1 2 3 4 5, and we have const data. So I will say data dot map item, and now we need item here. Our apps. I know I'm doing this too fast because I'm assuming that you watched my previous video. So I will say here h2 or h2 h5 as maybe Avengers in the game. Okay, so I go to list page. The iteration I want item with the key as item. Okay, so now we want this list inside app.js. So let's say here list. Okay, here you can see the names. Okay, so if you use Notion, then you will have some idea how I want this structure to be. I want this Avengers and it is in. Okay, let me do this. So I will say class name as item container border 0.5 pixel solid hash 000. Okay, and we need some padding out there. Padding 5 pixel. Okay, so either I want bottom padding or okay, so I will say border bottom is equal to this. Okay, So we can give more padding here, like 10. Yes, this is looking good. And this is looking good. So if we go to my atom, I will say here paragraph tag. Oh, this is looking decent. Or maybe I just have to give some font weight. Okay, let's say style is equal to font weight as 200. Okay, something went wrong. Maybe I have to give style inside of this bracket. Inside of this double bracket. Okay, this is too right. So I will say font is equal to 500. Okay, 400. Okay, this is looking decent. And yes, that's how it looked like. That's how I want. Now I want this input to be the same as just the empty thing, right? So how to add that? We have to give same style as class name as atom container, because ultimately this is the atom. Okay, and we have to give style here. Style, not style, we have to give class name as input app.js. Wait a minute, so before this I want to add a placeholder here, like type movie or series. Okay, series name. And we go to my CSS, and if I add style like input as border is equal to 0. Okay, what is this action? On focus, maybe input focus. Okay, so I want to give padding to be 5 pixel, padding vertical pixel 10 pixel. Okay, let's see. Think this is top bottom and this is vertical horizontal. Yes, so I don't want this. What? So I just want to. Okay, so this is not looking good in larger screen. Why? Because this is too big. So we want to shrink this, or in other words, if we see our width is equal to 50% or 50%, and everything is at the center. Okay, not like this. Maybe align item center or justify content center. Flex or display flex. Justify content center. Okay. Okay. Flex direction column. Sorry, flex direction row. Align item center. What column? Okay. This is not what I want. So remove everything. Remove flex too. So we will handle this using traditional method, which is margin left auto, margin right auto. This is more like a traditional method. Yes. Now we can see this. Not 50 centimeters, I will say 400 pixel. Okay, yes, yes. On mobile it is looking good. Yes. We can give style depending on that, or we can use here media queries. But now it is looking decent. I don't need media query. So if I go to app.js and if I say div here, and if I want to give style like margin is equal to 10 pixel 0, or maybe 1 rem. rem. Okay, so to identify this as from the other, so I will give background color to input container as, okay, maybe we don't need to give. Wait a minute. Focus visible. Okay, so got it. So it is not focus, it is focus visible. Focus visible. This one is zero. Looking now. What happened? Focus visible outline offset. How we can change this? Focus visible. Border 0 important. Important. And this is 0. And this is also important. Okay, now you can see there is no button and still I can type. And yes, I can type here. Okay, so I just want to increase the width. So to know, let's see, are we specifying width anywhere? What I will do here, I will give width at 100%. Yes, 100%. Okay, what else we need? Okay, so I can type and I can add. So wait a minute, now we need that add button, right? That add button. So add button will be in input. Inside of this button, for now I will say add. Neither children nor. Okay, so can't add like this. We can add like this. Add, but we need this button to be here, right? So we need this to be input container. Input container in app.css. I will give display flex. Okay, len flex. Okay, maybe flex. Let's, we need it. Boom. So we can give width as 90%. Not 90, it should be 100. Wait a minute, we can give 90% and we can say justify content space between. Okay, so you can see the space here. So we can say 80%. Okay. Okay, that's what we need. And the add button. So how add button should look like? So if we go to input, I think this is more like a styling rather than a JavaScript or React.js tutorial button. So I will say button here, or you can say input button, and in app dot where in app dot, this is input button, right? In app dot css we have to go here and say background color to be transparent. Transparent. Great. So now you can say here border border as 0. Okay, and the button is basically the plus icon, but currently we don't have access to that, so I will say plus now for now. No, this is looking weird. I will say add. Okay, you can add here font or something. Okay. So name.js, let me give this color as hash 00, not red, a greenish or bluish color. Okay. Font weight 500, or maybe 800. Oh, this is too much. 700. Okay, decent. So I can add movies like new one, hit add, boom, new 2, hit add, boom. So UI is done. So let's move on to our functional part. Okay, so functional part is app.js. So in app.js, what I have to do here is we need use state hook to track the input text, set input text to these are props, and we can say props. Okay, so from here we can access all the props of the input. So I will say value is equal to input text, and I will say on change event, on change is equal to, so we know what on change event does. It gives an event, so we have to set that event dot target dot value, which is e dot target dot value to their input, and ultimately wait a minute. Okay, and ultimately we have to just console log for just to understand if it is working or not. So let's go to console. Okay, this is just error, so I will say hi testing. Yes, it is working. Okay, if I hit add, then it should be added in the list. So now we want movies list. So I will say here const or use state as watch list currently watch list is only contain 1 and 2. Okay, or maybe I will say a Lucifer and uh, Lucifer and other movies, which is Invincible, and both are series. Okay, so these are series and I will say watch list. So I will pass this watch list to this list as a data, and we can get data directly, so we don't need this. And if we don't need this data, then we can pass this as atom. Okay, and we can say atom. Wait a minute, just we have to change something. This is list, but I just want to structure this list as initial. Okay, so say initial watch list. Okay, so initial watch list as object, so it contain id, so id is maybe 1, then my other thing is name, and which is Lucifer, and let's add one more. I know there is a like too, so that's why I use this structure like object of arrays. Invincible. Okay, and this is how it looks, this is how it works. We go to watch list, we can pass data, and data contain id and name, right? So we need id here and name here. I will say name and name. So you can see Lucifer and Invincible. Great. Now let's try to add another movies, right? So we need this button, okay, on handle. So for that we have to go to input. This is button, right? So we have to say here on submit I want to execute something. Okay, on submit I will say handle submit. Okay, so I will extend those props. And I will add here handle submit. Handle submit is one of the prop and other one. So handle submit, what handle submit does is actually it does a handle submit function. So I will say const handle submit when if I click that button, then let me console.log the value of the input. Value is equal to input text, or maybe okay, value is equal to input text 0. Okay, so currently there is nothing. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so if I say hi and if I hit add, why you are not running? Const handle submit on submit, or okay, this is not a submit button, so I will say on click. Okay, so this is not a submit button, so that's why on submit is not working. So high test, so high test is a movie, then I will say value is high test, then I will add this value in the list. Okay, so let's do that. So in app.js I will say set list is equal to previous whatever the previous date or previous data was plus the input text. Okay, but this time input not just input text, we want input data, right? Input data is an object with the id, so id is can be anything, so I will say math dot random up return 0 to 1 number into 100, and just round off this math dot floor do this, and we will just convert this into string parse parse string, no sorry, parse int parse. How to convert this into string? Simply by adding plus this. Okay, and the name is, this is just a hack. Okay, name is this. Okay, so let's try to add. Okay, so something really went wrong, there is no data, right? So what I have to do, I have to console log the watch list. So let's debug together. Okay, got it. So I have to just replace this. Boom. If I say Avengers. Okay, then if I say which movie? John Wick. Okay, so yes, it is working, but as you can see, if I type, then it should get empty, right? And it should be empty. So what I have to do, just we have to say here set input text to be empty. Okay. So now if I say John Wick 2, okay, you can see. Okay. And suppose let's consider one scenario, like if I try to add Lucifer again. Lucifer, it is adding, but this is duplicate value, so I don't want like this. So what I will do is I will check, let's map through the watch list. So I will check watch list.map item. Oh,
आणि पेज घ्या.
oh. एकच पिशवी. Okay, so map through it. Or we don't need to map. What we can use here is a filter method. It's if watch list filter, and I will say item. If item dot name is equal to my input text, okay, watch list is this, and input text, then if it returns const duplicate, if duplicate dot length is greater than 0, then what we have to do is we have to return, but before that return 0 or anything. But before that, what we have to do, we have to send message like, hey, this is duplicate, or input text. So for now I will just console log this message as input text, or maybe alert, like input text is already already in watch list. So okay, suppose if I say invincible, okay, it's already in a watch list. So do you mean invincible 2? Then it is okay. Okay, so that's why I don't want to erase that. So duplicate values done. Now let's try to say so someone can like this, okay, multiple times, not just only once. So like, for like we have to go to list in atoms, and what we have to do here is we have to consider this as button. Yes, can we give on click to div? Maybe yes, we can give on click to div. So yes, let's try. So I will say here handle wait a minute, I will add button here as, wait a minute. So in input what we did here is we give class name as input button, and I will say here like, and if you go to input then you can see I give two classes because I thought it is different, but now I understand both are same. So what I will do now is I will remove this class input container. So I will go to app.js and I will give this class name to atoms also. And yes, there is a difference in the color, so I will say color in item as color. Yes, you can give color like this, hash app00. So this is red. Let's check. Now we can't give color like this, so we can say style color is equal to hash app00. Okay, so which color we want to give? A pinkish color. A like means a pinkish red type. Okay, okay, so let's go with this. Okay, let's go with this, and we want hex code. And obviously the font weight, I just want a bigger font because this is like I know this is looking not good because it should be icon, so we will add icon when we get a network. Okay, don't worry. Or you can add, you know how to add icons. So yes, what we need on click, not handle submit, we need handle like. So handle like will pass here, and handle like will be passed to this. Handle like in app.js, I will say handle like here. So handle like is not functions, is not defined. So we have to write one function. I will say const handle like, and I will say console.log a like. Okay. Like, like. Okay. So, well done. So I just want to get this random value, a bigger value. Okay, like. So to handle this, first we need like with count 0. So we have to go to atom and like name we have to say like. Like, like, like. So that's why we have to pass strictly atom. And we can say like. So show me 0 likes. Why you are not showing me 0 likes? Like, we pass this like to this watch list. In list there's a like is like. So let's refresh and check. Okay, you can see 0 likes. If I click, nothing is increasing because I haven't handled this like. So in app.js I have to use this again. I have to find, this time we need to find the ID, and handle like will give me the ID. So we will compare those. Wait a minute, sorry. ID, and if we get the atom, not a duplicate this time, if we get that atom which is like atom, basically this will give me a list, so I will say here atoms, Actually, we don't need to use here filter. We can directly handle this. Wait, let me show you. What we can do is, first of all, we go to items. So what we need from this here, we need ID. So no one is passing ID to me. Yes, key is here, but we can't use key as a prop. So we have to pass an ID. Okay. Now after this, there is another point, as we need to access that ID, and we have to pass that ID. Wait a minute. ID like this. ID. Okay. ID. And in the app.js, what I will do, watch list.map item if item dot id is equal to id, then I will increase the like count of that item by 1 plus 1. That's it. So nothing is happening. Why? Let me just check. Okay, logic is correct. So let's check if it is happening or not. Console.log. Item, and here we want id comma item.id. Okay, there are 9 likes. Okay, so 1 1. Like count is equal to 1. So why it is not loading? Because you can see here I said like id is equal to 1, and if it is 1 1, then like is 1, right? Then why it is not loaded? Because it should, right? Is this async? So that's why maybe. Okay, so here is one solution from me, which is for for where I is equal to 0, I is less than watch list dot length I plus plus. Okay, and then then say atom is equal to watch list dot I, which is a const atom, and then we can compare this. Sorry, check this. Console.log atom. Okay, so actually we like that, but somehow it is not reloading. So what can we use here? But why it is loading for submit? For a submit, we actually add data. Okay. So I got it. What went wrong here is we are directly assigning data. So this is really wrong. So we have to set data. So how we set data? We have to set that particular data. So we don't need to remove and add that. What we can do is update function. Means this is working. Okay. If we add that, okay. So what we have to say here is watch list will be same as previous, but this time okay, so this is more complicated, not more complicated, just consider if here are 1000 records, then we can't just assign those records here, right? So or 10 records, okay, there won't be 1000 records because we will use pagination here. So what we will do here is const alter watch list is equal to empty. Okay, at the end we have to alter watch list dot push, and we have to say here that atom or add that atom, and at the end we have to say set watch list is equal to altered watch list. So this is typical solution for this. You can see now it is increasing, now it is increasing. Okay, so this is solution. Maybe not the best, but yes, it is working solution. Thirty, 40. Suppose if I add a new movie like uh, any new movie. Suppose here I will say ABC, add nan. So why this is nan? Because let me just No, why this is not? Because we haven't say here like a 0. Now if I say here like a 0, and if I add a 2 movie, you can see. Well, so this is working. So what is the another part? Okay, you can see the strings here. Okay, this can be possible that this insane means because these are random numbers, they are might be same. So what we can do here is, if we go to our list, then for key I will add a name also and a like also. So this is purely a unique, so you can see here id is same but keys are purely unique. So we can do this. IDs, okay, IDs can't be the same. Okay, fine. 2 boom. Okay, so this is working solution. So that's it for today, I think. Okay, so I think we have to just handle this. So suppose if it is empty, then what? In app.js, if it submitted as an empty string, then if input is equal to an empty string, then I will say return, and yes, I will use alt for now. Enter something. Okay, enter something. Okay, so I haven't give option of delete because there might be issue. Okay. Because if someone delete everything, then that is a problem. So I haven't give option of delete. Yes, we can give option of dislike, but this is also the negative point of view of movies or series. We just have to see the positive side. Yes. So let's go and do what? What else we want? Yes, that's it. That's it. If I want to search, then what? So if I want to search, then we can search. Okay, let's handle search. Okay. So where we want search option? Search option will be here itself, but we will have another button. So in input, let's add another button for search. other than handle search. Okay, and what else we need here is maybe style color as hash app00. Okay, just padding. Yes, we can give some padding. Search. Okay, we can give this dark button. Okay, so let's give this color. Search. And yes, we need some padding. So I will say padding left to be 10 pixel. So yes, that's it. Or okay, so let's say search. How to handle search? So I will go to my app.js again, and I will say handle search here. Handle search. Again, I will write one function which says const handle search, and handle search require nothing. So now we will use this duplicate because we want the output. Okay, so searched, or we can select filtered data. We don't need name. Okay, yes, name is equal to that. Then I will say watch list is equal to filter data. So that's it, I think. Suppose if I add a Lucifer to new one, and if I say search Lucifer or Lucifer, yes, there are 0 likes. Lucifer. If I like this and remove everything, okay, search nothing. Now if I want everything, then I have to refresh. Search, and if it is empty, like it did here, I will say return, because yes, if it is empty, then yes, I will say return. So I will say invincible. Already I did search, yes. If I search again, nothing is working. Okay, good. And now you can integrate this with Firebase. So that's it for this recommendation thing. Bye. Thank you for watching this video again. With your recommendation. I think it's